Medical Jim Crow has come to America. If we still had water fountains, the unvaccinated would have separate ones.
In his latest mind-numbing rant, Fox News host Tucker Carlson is begging you to notice his white supremacy. Then goes on, as I'll show you, to compare vaccine requirements to segregation. Now, I'm first going to play, so I'll play for you the full segment here, but first I want to play just the first 5 seconds of this clip and watch what Tucker Carlson does with his mouth here. So he clearly is going to say the word best, but then instead says worst. Check this out.
Pretty much everybody agreed that segregation was the worst thing this country ever did.
Did you catch that? This was not a mistake, obviously. This was done on purpose. This is the kind of thing Tucker has been doing for years. The dog whistles have just gotten louder and louder and louder. And, at this point, he's not even doing dog whistles, just straight up racism. So clearly here, he mouthed that he was going to say best, but instead said worst. And as you'll see in the rest of the segment, the way he even talks about segregation here is just obviously done in a way to still placate his incredibly racist, white supremacist supporters. So before I get to the rest of the clip, though, just to be, clear, they're going to, as they always do, he's going to pretend, if he's called out on this, that, I wasn't going to say best. You're just seeing things. This is the plausible deniability that these people operate on. But there is no plausible deniability when you do segments embracing the white supremacist replacement conspiracy theory and claiming Democrats are importing immigrants to dilute American voters. When this is the kind of content you put out on a daily basis, the mouthing of the word best here was not an accident. And of course, white nationalist website calls Tucker Carlson's replacement rant one of the best things Fox News has ever aired. So when you have white nationalist websites acknowledging Tucker's show and the content that he puts out and loving it, they're his favorite person on television. It's obvious what Tucker does when he has moments like this, that they're not a mistake. Another example of that, Laura Ingraham. Here she is. That's at the RNC back in 2016. Look at that weight. Obviously there, right here, that is not a mistake. She'll say, or she already said, I was just waving to the audience. Yeah, waving just like Hitler did. Again, there is no plausible deniability when you say shit like this. Laura Ingraham is sickened by Joe Biden calling out systemic racism. Fox News stands by Laura Ingraham after she defends white supremacist other extremists on her primetime show. When this is the content you put out, you don't get plausible deniability. But now let's get to the rest of the segment, which, as I said, is also just completely insane.
Pretty much everybody agreed that segregation was the worst thing this country ever did. Forcing certain categories of citizens into separate, lesser accommodations, barring them from public places, treating them like lepers or untouchables, that was completely immoral and wrong. We were told that a lot, and most of us strongly agreed. It was wrong. So imagine our confusion today looking out across the country. The very same people, literally the very same, who just the other day told us that segregation was immoral, are now enforcing segregation. Should we be surprised? Probably not, but we still are. Just this morning, the New York Times informed us that unless you can prove you have taken the injection that the Democratic Party demands you take, you are no longer permitted in bars, comedy clubs, even some dance competitions in the state of New York. You're too dirty to appear in public. You're not welcome near normal people. Want to watch the NBA playoffs in person? You had better be vaccinated to do that. Otherwise, the New York Knicks will bar you from Madison Square Garden. You can still go see a baseball game if you want to, but be warned, you will be sitting in your own roped-off section, marinating in your shame with the other disobedient bad people. Medical Jim Crow has come to America. If we still had water fountains, the unvaccinated would have separate ones.
Medical Jim Crow. This is a segment, word for word, that could have been done as a joke, as satire by Stephen Colbert, 10 years ago. But this is real. Tucker Carlson put this segment together as if he's being serious. The idea of treating somebody who's vaccinated or treating vaccine requirements the same as segregation, you're just completely throwing out the whole issue here. You're not born vaccinated or unvaccinated. You're not separated because of the way you're born. It's a vaccine. This is how vaccines work. You vaccinate more and more people, the less of a chance there is of the virus spreading and mutating to the point that may render the current vaccines ineffective. This is why it is necessary to get people vaccinated, to encourage vaccines. This is not at all, obviously not at all like segregation. It's also, I mean, even by his own measure, it's like yelling segregation if you're told to wear clothes when you go shop at Sears. Hey, I want to be naked when I shop at Sears. Why are you separating me from the clothed people? It's just as dumb as that. Yet here he is trying to make this argument honestly. Unbelievably stupid. Even Donald Trump told his supporters that they should get vaccinated. Yet here Tucker is taking it even further than Donald Trump. It's just amazing. And the other part of this, like, you may think that, oh, but, if you're vaccinated, what does it matter if someone else is, at the same store as you or at the Knicks game, whatever? What does it matter if they're there because you're vaccinated, you're protected? Well, at least right now, we have not yet reached herd immunity. But on top of that, children, young kids cannot get vaccinated. So you're potentially risking them getting the virus because if you're vaccinated, you can still get the virus and transmit it to other people. You just may not get symptoms. But you can still get the virus from somebody who is not vaccinated and then potentially spread that to other people who also are not vaccinated, like your young children. So this is why it is so important that people get vaccinated. And treating this issue the same as Jim Crow, unbelievably stupid, and I feel like it doesn't need an explanation, but it's worth pointing out this is the kind of bullshit that Tucker Carlson puts out every night.